Welcome to BattleBots at Home, and tonight is a very special episode, as it is the last fight card before the qualifiers are over and the bots that will get into the top 82 are decided. All these bots only have one last chance to prove why they deserve to be in the tournament. Let's take a look at those bots right now. As you may be able to guess looking at our final fight card, tonight will feature fights unlike anything you've ever seen before. Twice in the Three Musketeers, we'll have a war of the multi-bots in which only one team can come out on top. Vertical spinners such as Trash and Jerry are hoping to do some serious damage with their deadly blades. And in our final main event of the season, you couldn't ask for a bigger fight than this. It's the return of the reigning champion BattleBots, who's on a 7-0 winning streak across 2 seasons. They haven't lost a fight yet, and they're on track to win another giant disc. However, not if SawBlaze has anything to say about it. They're a very deadly hammer saw. They're new, but they've caused lots of damage too. And if anyone can beat BattleBots, it may just be them. We'll find out tonight. But for our first fight of the night, it's the 1-in-1 Inverse facing off against the 1-in-1 Stilts. Both these bots are on the bubble and are just one win or loss away from their tournament fates being decided. Let's head down to the box. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Still spinning up that massive vertical spinning bar. Inverse should be careful of that. They don't know what kind of dance they can do. Oh, just like that. But Inverse doesn't care, getting right in their face and suplexes Stilts right onto their face. This is what Inverse does. It's a really good control bot. And if you don't heed their warning, they will push you all around the box. And that's exactly what Inverse is doing, trying to get Stilts stuck on the side of the wall. Inverse still very dangerous with that weapon, but it doesn't matter because Inverse is just getting around them, avoiding the weapon altogether. Inverse putting them into the pulverizer. Here comes that massive hammer, and already Inverse is winning spectacularly in control. They flip over Stilts once again. Stilts trying to self-right. They can't spin that bar. They're upside down. That's a major weakness, and Inverse is exploiting that, keeping them in that corner, not letting them leave that corner as the other pulverizer comes down, and Inverse getting pushed around. They have not left this corner. This is bad, very, very bad for Stilts. Stilts needs to get away, but I don't think they can. Oh, if you look right there, the back wheels of Stilts are stuck on the pulverizer. The countdown has begun, and I think Stilts is lost this fight. They can't get away. I've never seen a bot stuck like that, but this has happened because of Inverse. And just like that, Inverse goes 2-0 by doing a weird KO we've never seen before, getting someone stuck on one of the pulverizer. That's one way to win. Inverse just an excellent control bot. He took a tiny bit of damage at the beginning, but they just did not care. They pushed Stilts wherever they wanted to go, into the sidewall, into one of the pulverizers, and then they pushed him into this pulverizer. They got him stuck, and at that point, Stilts just couldn't do anything. Just a really fantastic control bot. Inverse, they may have lost the Bite Force, but I have a feeling they could go far into the tournament. Our next matchup sees Overlord facing off against Emergency in a battle of 2-0 robots. So far, Overlord has been on a great winning streak. They've taken down Quick Shot and Unintended Consequences, and with their unique design, they may go all the way. They'll be facing off against Emergency, who is a really great ram bot. They've just been slamming into everything as hard as they can to break everything in their path, and they really want to go 3-0. Both these bots do. Whoever goes 3-0 will get one of the highest seeds in the tournament and a clear shot at the giant disc. Both these bots want that 3-0 record, but only one can get it. Let's see who it will be. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin along the line here as we see who will maintain their perfect undefeated record. And it looks like it might be Emergency as they push Overlord into one of the corners. Overlord has 2 weapons, the vertical spinner and the lifter. Emergency just has 1 weapon, the lifter, but even that isn't that reliable. They self-right, and just as I say that the lifter has broken off, although in this case it isn't that big of a problem. It's broken all their other fights, and yet Emergency has still won because it's just such a good ram bot. Those wheels, the drive system, oh, huge hit there. Just from the power of the drive system alone, they sent Overlord a few inches off the ground just with their own drive power, and now they're pushing Overlord into the sidewall. Overlord is not going to win a pushing match against Emergency, but they can use their weapon to their advantage, using the lifter to get him over, using the spinner to get some free shots in. But Emergency just slamming right into Overlord. Overlord just keeps getting pushed back. They're not that well balanced apparently. They lost one of their stabilizing tails. And Emergency, despite losing their weapon once again, is on track to win this fight potentially, unless Overlord can pull out something really quick. Overlord getting pushed into the corner. You gotta get out of that corner right now. This is bad news. You don't know what could happen there. Overlord's getting slammed by the Polarizer, giving control points to Emergency. Emergency has them on the sidewall. Are they gonna get him out of the arena? Can Overlord get down from there? I don't know what's going on right now. Overlord, oh my god! And that's it! Overlord has split in half. One half's inside the arena, the other half's out. Well, I've never seen anything like that before. Emergency has gone 3-0, which is impressive considering they went winless last season. They didn't get a single win last season. They went 0-2. This time, they're 3-0. They're getting to the tournament, and they'll have one of the highest seeds. And Emergency has just been so dominant. They slammed into all their opponents, and that's what he did to Overlord. Eventually, Overlord couldn't take the hits. They split in half, and that was that. 2 fights down, 4 more to go until our main event. One of those spots will be in our main event. It's the deadly hammer saw, known as SawBlaze. Let's take a look. We'll be heading into our next match right away, as the 1-1 Never Saw It Coming faces off against the 1-1 Jerry. Both of these bots need a second win to even be considered for a tournament. Let's see who'll get it. Let's head down to the box. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. 2 very different robots, but they have the same record, and only one can improve to 2-1. And right now it looks like it might be Jerry as they throw Never Saw It Coming across the box. Never Saw It Coming self-riding. They have a spinning saw on a lifter, a very unique weapon, and they're using that weapon to great effect, and they put Jerry on their side, and now putting Jerry on their face. And right now Never Saw It Coming getting some good control points right now. Jerry coming in, that blade is very dangerous, and they're using it effectively right now as they push Never Saw It Coming into the corner. Just hit them as hard as they can, and they flip them onto their side, and they rip off an entire wheel, and right now Jerry's doing major damage. All but Jerry has split in half, and I think that might be it. But Never Saw It Coming can't self-right either, and I think that's right, this is a double KO. A rare double KO. Both bots have been knocked out at about the same time, which means this will go to the judges, and I've never seen anything like that. Jerry got some good hits off, but Never Saw It Coming used that lifter pretty well, getting them stuck on their side and putting them on their face. But the big damage came near that wall where they got them flipped over and they ripped off an entire wheel. That should definitely help winning with damage. But then again, Jerry broke in half, so you never know how the judges might choose to see it. Let's see who won this incredibly unique fight. And the winner by split decision is Jerry. Our next matchup is sure to be a doozy, as we have the King of Kinetic Energy in Tombstone. They're currently 1-1 after a tough loss to Witch Doctor, but then a dominant win over Fall Damage. They'll be hoping to destroy Tough, who's on a winning streak and has tossed 2 of their opponents out of the arena already. Will Tombstone be their next victim? We're about to find out. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. A big collision right out of the gates. Tough pushing Tombstone into the sidewall. Tombstone pushing them back with that big spinning blade. It's a very destructive. Right now, Tough is taking the hits, living up to its name. Tombstone trying to slice Tough to pieces, and they succeeded so far as they rip off the entire lifting mechanism. And right now, Tough is just a wedge. They've lost their entire weapon, and it looks like this is Tombstone's fight to lose. Tough, not much else for them to do except ram into Tombstone. He's had more and more pieces come flying off. Tombstone just throwing Tough around like a volleyball. Tough has been completely annihilated, and I think that's going to be it. Yeah, we're starting to count down. And just like that, Tombstone's going to go 2-1. They had a rocky start to the season, but they have shown why they are one of the most destructive bots in the competition. And just look at all of the splattered pieces of what was once Tough. Tough, usually a tough bot, but unfortunately they weren't tough enough against Tombstone. Tombstone, that big spinning blade just causes so much damage. They ripped off the entire lifting mechanism, and at that point the fight was basically over. There wasn't much else for Tough to do at that point. They just got absolutely torn to shreds. Tombstone, a very scary bot. On the bright side, both bots should make it into the tournament at 2-1, especially Tombstone. Can't wait to see more of them. We're almost to our final main event of the season, and it's one you won't want to miss, as it features the reigning champion, BattleBots. Let's take a look. Our next fight is sure to be an interesting one, as the 1-1 Free Musketeers takes on the 0-2 Twice. Both are multi-bots, both desperately need a win, but only one, or I guess two or three bots, can come out on top. Let's see who will win this war of the cluster bots. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. It's a battle of multi-bots. There's 5 different bots in this arena, so this is going to get confusing real fast. One of the Trice twins running into one of the Free Musketeers, the largest one, stuck on its own mini-bots, and it's just a big dumpster pile right here. So many bots all in one place, and I'm not really sure where to look at first. Oh, the 2 Trice twins pushing after the main twin. Keep in mind, in order for either of these bots to go out, more than 50% of the weight must be eliminated. So the Free Musketeers, in order for them to lose, they need the main bot as well as one of the smaller bots to get out. While Twice, they have to lose both bots in order to be counted out. And oh, the main bot on the Free Musketeers just lift up one of the Twice twins. That could be trouble. Kind of like a hook or something, just getting right into those slits in the back of the robot. A piece comes off of someone, I'm not even sure at this point. I think that's the lifting arms gone on one of the Twice twins. And once again, they've lifted up the Twice twin. And oh, they're going to dump them out of the arena. Are they going to get out of there? Can they get out? No, they cannot. And just like that, one of the Twice twins is out of the arena. Only one more to go. The Free Musketeers slamming into them. And now just lifting up. It's 3 against 1. Oh, and pushing them onto the screws. The main Musketeer breaks a little bit, but it doesn't matter. The second Twice twin is stuck, and they're getting counted out, and just like that, Twice will go 0-3, get kicked out of competition, and lose everything, while the Free Musketeers go 2-1, and should be in the tournament pretty good. I don't know what else to say. This is all about resources. They were both multi-bots, but only one of these multi-bots used their multi-bottiness as effectively. I know that's not a word. I'm just running out of stuff to say here. The point is, the Free Musketeers win, Twice lose, and that's about it for that multi-bot. What a fun fight. For our next fight, we have the return of Grappler, a very good control bot who's currently 1-1 after a very dominant win against Rotator, but unfortunately a close loss to SawBlaze. They'll be facing down a very desperate vertical spinner in Trash, who ironically has gotten trashed by both Bad Idea and Mac and Cheese, and if they lose this fight, they're out of the competition. With all that out of the way, let's head down to the box. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot battle begin. Trash will doing everything in their power to tear Grappler apart. As if they don't, then their tournament season may be over. Grappler trying to use those grappling arms to get to the sides of Trash, but Trash weapon just takes up so much area, and they can do very much damage to those grappling arms if they're not careful. Trash getting pushed around to the side. Their offset spinner could do some damage. Oh, but never mind, here we go. Oh, Grappler almost gets a grab there, but it just slip off. Trash is such a weird shape. I don't know if they can grab it. And if they can't grab it, then they probably can't win this fight. Oh, never mind, they get a good grab right there. Into the pulverizer goes Trash. Trash getting hammered right now. Hammer, hammer, hammer. But coming into the side. Oh, ripping off one of the side arms of Grappler. Oh, but Grappler slams Trash into the wall. And Trash has lost the stabilizing thing. And now the blade is touching the ground. And I don't think they can spin up. Their weapon has effectively been disabled just from the skill driving of Grappler. Grappler using that skill drive once again as they slam Trash into the screws. That's what happened. Trash got stuck last time. Last time they faced a Grappler. Will that happen again? They're on their side. I don't know if they can self-ride. And things have quickly gone in favor of Grappler so far. Grappler slammed them into the pulverizer once again. Grappler, this is what they do. They're one of the best control bots we've ever had. And they're showing it once again as they get Trash stuck in the screws. And just like that, I think it's going to be it for Trash's tournament run. They can't get out, and the fight is over. Grappler will go 2-1, and they should be looking good for the tournament. Meanwhile, Trash goes 0-3, and they are gone. Very unfortunate, but wasn't much to do. Grappler just so good at controlling its opponents. The second they did get a good grab on them, the fight was basically over. They disabled their weapon. They used the pulverize to their advantage, and they put him into screws. Grappler, just an excellent control bot all around. Alright everybody, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. We've reached our final main event. It's SawBlaze versus BattleBots. Whoever wins this fight will go 3-0 and may just get the #1 seed in the top 32 tournament. In case you somehow forgot, BattleBots has literally never lost a fight. They are currently 7-0 across 2 seasons, and they're hoping to add more wins to that long record, but they'll have to get through SawBlaze to do it. SawBlaze, they're only 2-0, but that's because they've only fought 2 times. They're also undefeated, and that deadly hammer saw is unlike any kind of weapon we've ever seen before. And if they pick their shots right, they may just be able to do damage to BattleBots like what has never happened before. But of course, despite how small it looks, one good hit from that spinner could be all it takes to end the fight. Who will go 3-0? Who will get the #1 seed? And who will get closer to being our BattleBots at Home 2022 champion? Let's find out. Let's head down to the box for our final main event. Three, 2, 1. Let the bot main event begin. Remember, a 3-0 record and possibly #1 seed is at stake here. Oh, there goes one of the forks off of SawBlaze, courtesy of BattleBots. That spinner looks small, but it is very potent, and SawBlaze needs to keep their front pointed. They can't afford to lose more forks. Oh, they flip over real quick. BattleBots turning around to 2 bots just trying to gauge each other. It's like a joust, but the loser will get torn to pieces. SawBlaze, they have the reach advantage potentially with that hammer saw. They just need to get there, especially to get underneath BattleBots. BattleBots turns around trying to aim for one of those wheels. Oh, SawBlaze had barely missed them. The pulverizer did, and he gets a good hammer strike there. SawBlaze lining up. They want to face the front of BattleBots no matter what. Don't want to show off their sides. That could be a vulnerability. Same thing with BattleBots. They want to hit the sides of those forks, break them off. Like they did that, they break off another piece of the fork. And already BattleBots is winning on damage. BattleBots, oh, getting pushed from behind, getting a little nick from the hammer saw. As you can see, the other fork on SawBlaze is bent up, and this is horrible. It's going to be so much more difficult for them to get underneath them. And there goes the fork entirely. Right now, SawBlaze has lost all of their forks, and it's going to be so difficult to use that hammer saw as they need to win the ground game in order to use it properly. And right now, SawBlaze just really being vulnerable right now. BattleBots has also lost one wedge lid. Oh, they just hit the camera. SawBlaze just hits the camera. Be careful with that. That's expensive. Oh, there goes the pulverizer on the SawBlaze. SawBlaze a little stuck now. Could they be stuck in the wall? Now they get free. SawBlaze just, I guess they're going to back into them using the hammer saw as a normal vertical spinner since it's hard to get underneath them. Bite Force, they were winning the ground game before. They definitely will now. They lost one witch. Oh, another huge hit there. Right now into the pulverizer. Bite Force. Oh, the two blades connect real quick. I don't know who's more powerful, but it doesn't matter because Bite Force is getting underneath SawBlaze and just showing what that amazing drivetrain can do. SawBlaze really needs to battle back here. They are able to push Bite Force every now and then, but it's really difficult without those forks. They really need to win on damage, and they also need to win on control. They're being really aggressive though, so that's helping. But Bite Force just not letting up. SawBlaze just getting back into the corner. It's just the geometry of the two bots does not work out for SawBlaze's favor when they go head to head. They're going backwards once again, trying to use that hammer saw like a normal vertical spinner. See if they can do any damage that way. Bite Force, very slow, very methodical. Just trying to pick their shots right. Oh, that was some weird twisty twitch. I don't know what that was about. Bite Force, oh, has their weapon stopped? Oh, no, it hasn't. But SawBlaze getting behind them, getting a few good shots with that hammer saw. This is their chance to battle back, get some points on the board. But Bite Force backs up and just trying to get underneath SawBlaze, just trying to do as much damage as they possibly can. Just not want to take any chances. A lot on the line here. Bite Force just connecting once again. And SawBlaze is hanging in there pretty well. Oh, huge hit there. But SawBlaze can take the punishment. They've taken some damage, but they're still working. Oh, on the sidewall for a second. Oh, they back into time is up. Time is up. The fight is over. This will go to the judges. And I gotta say, even though I think Bite Force won this one, SawBlaze made sure they had to work hard for that win. SawBlaze did get a few small hits. They pushed back against Bite Force. Bite Force usually so dominant. This is the most we've ever seen them struggle. They got pushed around, and if it weren't for those forks getting messed up, maybe we would have seen more action from the weapon. But as it stands, I think Bite Force wins on damage and control, but you gotta hand it to SawBlaze. They even hit our camera. It's too bad the camera wasn't their opponent. Bite Force was, and I think Bite Force has won this fight. And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Bite Force. And just like that, we have reached the end of our final Fight Night round. Just to recap, Inverse got still stranded on the pulverizer. Overlord did the splits against Emergency. Jerry won in a double KO judge decision against Never Saw It Coming. Tough dug its own grave against Tombstone. Things were not alright with Twice as it got KO'd by the Free Musketeers. Trask was no match for the grappling power grappler. And in our final main event, Bite Force kept its winning streak alive by taking down the mighty SawBlaze in an amazing close back and forth fight. Now, normally this would be the end of the episode, but not this time. It's time to show off the 31 bots that have qualified for the tournament. First up, we have our 8 3-0 bots. These bots have managed to go undefeated throughout their qualifying rounds, and as a reward, they are all guaranteed at least one of the top 8 seeds, but we won't say which ones they are yet. Next up, we have our 23 2-1 bots. These bots may have had one small mistake, but they've bounced back and they're ready to show they could win it all. Now you're probably wondering why there's only 31 bots, even though it should be 32. Well, the 32nd spot was so hard to decide that we've chosen to give 12 very equal robots one last chance. Next week, they will battle it out for this final spot. The one winner will go to the tournament. All the losers go home. We hope to see you there. See you next time on BattleBots at Home.